morning everyone, it's Carol at Oak House Journals. Big warm welcome from me. Thank you so much for joining me today. I always really appreciate your company. So as you can see, I've got my prompts out for Margarete Miller's Collage Weekly Planner Challenge for 2023, and these are the prompts for assignment number 40, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. So let's make a start. Something that starts with the letter H. Well, I've gone for H for honeysuckle, and as you can see, I've fussy cut out some honeysuckle images. This is the one that is going to be on my piece today. The second one, a travel item. Oh, I think you're going to love this. I have chosen this image here. Now, isn't he fantastic? I've chosen him because my travel item would be the suitcase and also his rucksack, and he's got some keys in his hands here. And I just thought when I saw this image how fabulous it was, and I wanted to use him. Now I've printed off this image this size so that you could actually see what he looks like in better detail, but the size of image that I'm going to be using, if I pop that to one side, is this little one. And I've also lifted out these two faux tickets, and I thought I would use those on my collage as well. The third prompt is a ribbon. Well, I'm going with some ribbon tape. This is ribbon paper tape, and it comes in a roll like this, and I just thought I would use a strip, maybe two. The next one is dancing, prompt number 4, dancing. Well, I've got this country dance book, and it shows you and tells you how to dance various country dances such as reels and jigs and things like that, and there are some images inside that tell you where people need to stand. And I'm going to use a page out of it. Now, I've pulled out this page for no other reason than it was lying in the book and it was loose, so I'm going to be using that for my dancing prompt. Something messy, well, I'm choosing to go with this image. Now, this is a photograph of an old Jeep or pickup truck that we happened to see whilst we were on a country walk whilst on holiday recently, and I loved it because the colours were so vibrant on this, and it was so unexpected. It was just tucked away in a corner of vegetation, obviously going to rot, but with there being a private property mark on it, it was obviously somebody's property that had been put there for well, maybe safekeeping or just for storage, I don't know. But I loved it, and because it's so messy, I want to use it on my piece today. And then finally, the bonus prompt is something with stripes. A little bit undecided about this one. I have these print-on washi stickers, and I'll put the details in the description box below the video. And these are just rub-on stickers, and as you can see, they're all different coloured lines. So I may well be using some of these, or I might do a little bit of stamping and use some of these postal stamps. There we go, if I turn it around that way. And use either this one or this one because they've got check marks on them, and that would cover or hit the prompt for stripes. So those are what I'm going to work with today, and let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is use this as my background. As you can see, I've got a torn edge here, so I'm going to straighten that off. At the moment, I'm thinking that I'm going to leave it as it is and not trim it down any further. I've got my vehicle here, and as you can see, I've got a little white border all the way around, so I'm going to potentially leave that as it is. So I'm just roughly placing it on my piece to see what it looks like. And as you can see, I've got it over to the left-hand margin a little. This book page I've got slightly inside my border, and I've got about 1 centimetre top and bottom. And I'm wondering how to use this, maybe down the left-hand side as well. I'm liking this ribbon tape against the book page because the book page is a creamy colour and this is white. So it's blending quite nicely and making quite a nice transition between the white background and this. And I'm wondering if I pop this back on there like that, roughly centered from the top and the bottom, and have just that scalloped edge peeping out the side, which is quite pretty. I will level it off at the bottom, I think. I've got my tickets. I'm wondering if I'm going to trim off this number across the top. I've tried to do that so that it left the white line underneath the numbers. I've got a margin here, so I'm wondering if I tuck my ticket under here so that it's just inside that margin. And my tape is not allowing me to do that, so let's move that out of the way and put this in. So I'm thinking maybe something like that, so that I get a little bit of the book page at the top, just a little bit. I'm lining up this paper ribbon down the side of the numbers here. I chose this one because of the colours, the green and also that red 25, to try and pick up the red on my vehicle there. That will go and still leave me a reasonable or an equal distance top and bottom, and it's not too bad. It's not exact, but it's not too bad. So I think I like that. I don't want to obscure this very much if I can help it, so I'm wondering if I have my little guy in here like that, maybe drop him down a little bit, pull him down some more. That's not too bad in terms of being balanced here and here. Wondering about putting this ticket in here. Originally I thought by having a second ticket that I might have the bottom portion of this just peeping out underneath here, but I think that's going to be too much. If I just put that in there like that and then bring this in, it's too much down that side. But I'm wondering if I pull it down in here so that the red isn't showing at the bottom here, but so that I have a little bit of the book page acting as a border. I will have to go in a little bit more with that. Wondering if that would work. No, that's got to go in some more. I might get rid of this edge down there. I just want a bit of a border down here to mimic what I've done up there. And this piece I could have down here, but I could have it higher by using this ticket. I'm liking how this is looking, so I'm going to commit to having my frog on this ticket because I think that's nice. So I'm just going to dab some glue behind him to hold him in place. My little frog is glued onto the ticket, and the ticket, the full length of the ticket, is just slipped underneath this image here. I've decided not to have any of the green sticking out. I'm liking where my frog is positioned, so I'm going to go and put a little bit of glue behind him so that he sticks to my photograph behind, and I'm just going to put a bit of glue behind him here so that he is glued to my book page like that. So I'm going to do the same with these and put some glue behind them. So there we go. I've got more or less everything glued in place other than this top corner up here, because I was thinking I would work in these honeysuckles somehow. And let's just pop these to one side. Just wondering whether I could use that tucked in there. Oh, that might be quite nice. Or have another piece of that ribbon tape up there. So let's have a look and see what that looks like. Might be too much if I'm going to be putting the honeysuckle in place as well, but we can always, there's no harm in just having a quick look. So I'm wondering if I do something like that. I'm liking this decorative border here because it's matching that, but taking it up here I think is going to be too fussy. I could just have a little bit down this side and peeping out there. It's another possibility. Let me leave that for the minute and just pop that to one side. It's going to have to be this. I could bring it down and have this stem just going underneath that bit there. If I move the whole thing over, then I've got a bit more room to play with. And that just softens up that top corner. Let's see if I can use the other piece of foliage. And what I'm thinking is I could almost have it so that it looks like it's coming down here, like that. Yes, I'm liking that. It almost looks like it's doing that. And if I move this down slightly, I can take it off the bottom there, which I quite like. Could also move that across a little bit more and angle it a little bit more. Yes, that's working for me, so that's what I'm going to do there. Now I just need to decide whether I want to use this down the side. This piece is too small, but I'm just wondering about the border on the other side of the picture to add interest, and I'm going to do that. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take these off because I've made my decision about using those, made my decision about that. I'm going to glue this onto my page and then it's not moving around and I can get a better feel for it. So there we go. This is glued now to my background, and you saw me just pop a little piece of that ribbon tape, paper ribbon tape down the side there. So now I can put my honeysuckles in place. This one tucked in there like that. Maybe angle it a little bit more so that it's nicely breaking up that corner with that flower angled across that corner as well. So I'm going to pop some glue behind this one. There we go, everybody, that's my honeysuckle in place, and as you saw I've glued this piece so that the leaf is coming onto my frog picture down here, but also the top leaves here are coming onto this picture, and just taking off the edges and the corners to soften it up. In retrospect, I think it would have been nice to have made that a feature and brought it down to a point, or cut it like you do with ribbons like this. Something like that, and put that on there, but I didn't. But actually, looking at that, there's nothing to stop me doing that, so I think I will. There we go, happy accident. So I'm just going to level this off at the top and see if I can match it up on here. And yes, I can, so I'm going to do that. So let's pop a bit of glue on the back here. Now I need to get on my stripes for the bonus prompt, and if I use one of these two stamps to get the checked mark up here, I don't have to use the main part of the stamp, I could use just the lines. And originally I was thinking I might use them across there, but what comes to mind is that this is quite bold and busy up there, and adding the lines with the book text might be too much. And it would be nice actually to have a little bit of detail down here, not much, and this wouldn't be right to go down there. So I've gone through my washi sticker lines and I've pulled out this sheet because of the colours, and particularly because of these. These are almost a lemony, limey green that will pick up that vegetation. I'm thinking nothing more than a couple of lines down there just to add a touch of detail. And you probably can't see, but I'm thinking these two, but not much, and at different lengths. So I'm going to cut myself that much of the lines. Just pop that gently to one side. I'm going to put these back on their backing. Grab my tweezers. And yeah, I think that will work. So I'm going to cut away a little bit more. Pop that one to one side. I'm just going to go with that one there. And that was my other piece. Now where the washi line goes on to the photograph, you can't see it at all, but you can see it on the white border that I've left. Like that. Can you see? Just a slight detail. And I'm wondering whether I can use these or whether this is now going to be too much, but we'll see. I'm not even sure which way around these go. I think they go around that way. So that could go there. Yeah, I'm liking that. So I've got a third one there, and let's have a look at this one. So there we go, everybody. That's my finished piece. I'm going to stop there as far as the lines go, because I think otherwise I'll spoil it. I have a tendency to carry on and then overdo things. So I'm going to stop it there and just quickly go through the prompts with you. So something that starts with an H, well, I've went with my sprig of honeysuckle that I cut into, and as you can see, I've got a very muted honeysuckle at the top here and the lower portion of it down here. And as always, I'll do some photographs at the end so you can have a better look, because the light isn't good at all today. It's very rainy outside here in the UK. A travel item, well, I went with my lovely little quirky frog down here, and he's got a backpack, a little trolley dolly suitcase down here, and some keys in his hand there. A ribbon, well, I went with this paper ribbon down here, did a bit of piecing down here just to get an extra feature, and I'm glad I did that. I think that just finishes off that left hand bottom corner better. Dancing, well, that was my country dance book in the back, or book page in the back here. Something messy, well, that was that lovely old Jeep that we saw on holiday. And something with stripes, well, I went with my washi sticker stripes down here. So as always, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and do take care of yourselves. Happy crafting, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye now.